Well, hey guys. For this video, I thought I'd do a little voiceover deal for this horse's first saddling. This is Brava. She's a 3-year-old coming 4-year-old AQHA filly, and I believe she's a starlight filly, but pretty nice bred. She's crossed with a Hancock. So she's going to be hopefully fairly big. As you can see, she's got some bigger bone, 4 black feet. So she's got most of the stuff you're wanting in a horse. Pretty level, top line right. Withers is fairly level with top of her butt. So hopefully she's going to shape up to be a nice horse. But she will be for sale hopefully this year. But we're going to get her started and kind of see how she shapes up. So we're not going to have any horses. We've got a few youngsters right now, but none of these guys are going to be available until we feel they can be some pretty good horses, and we've got them going down the right road, and they could go out and go to work. So just to talk a little bit about what I'm doing here. I just got her in the round pen, and really what I'm doing is just handling her. You could see I was walking around both sides of her, just trying to make sure that I've got that mind kind of balanced, and both sides of the brain checked in. And then right there, I had swung my lead rope over her, and I'm basically just tightening it up like a girth, right, like a cinch. And, it's not, I'm sure plenty of trainers do that, but, I'm just going real slow, just taking my time. And she's had a saddle sat on her back, I think once before. I did it maybe, I don't know, maybe a month ago, and I've just kind of let her sit. And, I don't handle my youngsters, every day. I handle them maybe once a week, maybe once every other week. Between their, she's older, but if I had a 2-year-old, that's probably when I would start doing some of that stuff. Up until 2 years old, I might handle them once every 3-4 months, and just give them good experiences, not in a round pen, just handling them outside. But she's getting pretty close for a first ride, so I want to make sure that she feels comfortable and relaxed with that saddle. So I'm kind of just working my way up here. So I really liked that she handled that cinch pressure good. I'm not sucking it down like I'm trying to kill her. But, definitely something constricting around her. She stayed relaxed. And this horse is interesting. She needs her teeth done. We're getting the dentist out pretty soon here. In fact, this week, I believe. But you could see when I massaged her mandible, she lowered her head, right? So that's kind of the thing I do for her to help her relax, is I'll just massage those cheek muscles. And you could see, 30 seconds ago that helped her kind of chill out a little bit. But you would never believe where this horse started from. She was pretty much unhandled, maybe had been haltered once before I got her. And was handled when she was branded, and that was about it. She grew up on pretty good sized country up in Wyoming, and they did a great job raising her out in pasture. It just does some good stuff for horses, but her in particular, she's got a really really good mind. But just obviously grew up outside her whole life. So more reactive than, a lot of horses that were raised in domestication. But, she's got a great mind, and she's coming along pretty quick. But, I rope all mine when they're coming off ranches to halter them. So I'll halter break them like that. I'll rope their feet, do the whole deal. So, she's come a long way. Now you can walk up to her, halter her, pet her, and those are big steps for this horse. She's been with me for a few months now, and you can see she's pretty darn relaxed, which is totally night and day from when she first came. So, just a disclaimer: the horses that I'm starting this year, these are not like horses that were, born in an indoor stall and then handled since they hit the ground and gentle as a cat. These are horses that were born and raised outside on a ranch, until they were 2 or 3 years old. And at that point they're big and tough and mean. And my protocol is I'll just handle them for 6 months. I don't ask a lot. The first week or two they're there, I'll get on a horse and I'll rope them, halter break them, lead them by a foot, all that deal. Then after that, I'll just kind of handle them every week. Not in a round pen, but just helping them understand that people aren't going to hurt them. And if you can build that relaxation in a horse, everything else comes easy, right? A horse really is not in a thinking mindset unless they're relaxed. So you can see here, this is something totally new to her, and I'm sucking up that cinch a little bit slowly, and she's handling it like a champ. She's never had it, but that's because I've kept her in this relaxation state since I've brought her here, or really built that side of her brain as much as I could. Always remember, if you create more reaction in a horse, they're going to react more in the future, right? You're building the reactionary side of their brain. If you build the relaxation side of their brain, they're going to process information more so than react. So always try and prevent those horses from reacting as much as possible when they're young, and build up that processing side of the brain. You could see here, if I didn't feel comfortable with this horse, if I didn't spend all the time I'd spent with her up to this point, I would probably, be a little more hesitant, right? I might have taken the halter off and sent her around with a flag or something. But I want to kind of stay close to her, and give her as much comfort as I can, make sure this goes smoothly. I don't want to create something that doesn't need to happen, right? And I also feel safe enough and want her to feel safe enough that we can stay close right now. So I'm disengaging the hip with it cinched up slightly, just tight enough to where if she falls apart, that saddle's going to stay on and not roll, but I'm not cutting her in half. If a horse blows up, it's going to be when you ask them to move after you cinch them up. So we're in the clear, hopefully, for the most part. But you could see, I'm staying as close as I can to her. I'm trying to give her comfort rather than backing up and being like, okay, blow up, go do what you need to do. I'm trying to stay tight to her. And you'll notice that in young horses, if you guys are starting horses out there, sometimes when they blow up, they're going to want to jump on top of you. And it's not because they're trying to kill you most of the time. It typically is because they need comfort. They want to be right next to you. It's like little kids, if you guys have kids, sometimes when they're, fall and scream mommy or daddy, or they're scared, they just can't get close enough to you. They're climbing on you. They almost want to, be in your chest if they could. So young horses are the same way, and I want to, kind of encourage that to some degree in a safe way. You can't be on top of me, but I can stand right here and give you comfort, but you don't push past me. You don't push in my space. So here I'm just going to lead her. And if I had not done all the work I'd done up to this point, I would not lead her and have her walk towards me, right? Because if they get tight and jump, they're going to jump on top of you. So note that, be very careful with that. But for me, I feel fairly comfortable that this horse, is going to do a good job, hold it together. We've prepared her for this. But I'm also just trying to, it's kind of a catch-22, right? If you try and stay too safe and just step back and flag them, they're going to blow up, right? Or a higher probability. They're going to get tight. They're going to grab. If I stay close, right, it's going to help them not grab, but I'm also putting myself in a higher risk for danger. I'm definitely, though, the person that does the higher risk. I would rather, put myself in a slightly more dangerous situation and give the horse a 50% more chance of succeeding without falling apart. Not saying I'm doing that. We've done a lot of homework here, but I definitely want to do everything I can to help this horse not fall apart and give her a really, really, really good, a lasting memory foundation that's going to help her through her entire life. So first saddlings are important. So you can see she's walking around good. And I'm just taking my time, right? I'm not like saddling and, making her move her feet and run around and do all this stuff, right? I really took my time, walked her, disengaged her hip bolt directions, pet her up for 5, 6, 7 minutes. And Now, once I feel good about this, I'm just asking her to walk around me, right? And this is without me next to her, without the comfort of me, obviously. But we worked our way there. One thing to note, obviously, is that I do not have a pad under the saddle. The reason that is, on first saddlings, a lot of the time, I don't like doing pads, primarily because it just adds another layer of bulk, and young horses, to begin with, don't have withers. So the saddle's going to slosh around, slide around. And if you take that pad off, it just helps it stick a little tighter to them and grab on those withers. So that's just my personal preference. I want it to be more balanced on them rather than flopping around and feeling like it could roll easy. It's also safer for them, right? I definitely don't want to saddle, halfway on, sliding off, on the side of their rib cage. You could see here, I look like an idiot, but I'm just giving her pressure to lope, right? I didn't anticipate her being so sticky right there, but I just wanted her to walk, trot, and lope both directions. No big deal. And she did great. She didn't get tight. She just kind of stalled out in that trot for a little bit. If you notice, I don't do a ton of huge breaks with young horses. I kind of keep the fluidity of it. Horses process information dramatically faster than we do. So, for me, I don't feel like I need to stand and pause for, 30 minutes. I know that my timing's pretty good, for the most part. So I know that the horse is getting it. I did not see this one coming, though. That's one thing I wanted to mention is her bracing, right? Not wanting to move left. And I don't want to start getting after and making a big deal and creating a blow up here, right? I'm just going to kind of hang in there with her, right? I paused for a second after she took a step to the left. I'm going to pet her, right? A lot of guys in this situation might just start, smack her with the lead rope or more pressure to get her to move. And that's not necessarily wrong in this situation. But with this horse, it is wrong because that amount of energy in a new situation, right? She's got a saddle on, never had. That could create a blow up because she's already a little more elevated than she would be. So if I, do a big smack or whatever, it could be that extra energy that tips her over into blowing up or falling apart. So you could see there, I just kind of hung in there with her. And I am babying her a little bit, to be clear here. But this is an important experience for a horse. So again, here all I'm doing is getting walk, trot, lope the other direction. There's a trot. Stalls out again, right? And it's that brace. She doesn't want to go to her, doesn't want to move left when she's moving right. Right? She wants to keep me a little bit in that left eye. She has a hard time just keeping me in this right eye, right? See how she almost wanted to face me right there? But, and that's just an imbalance thing, right? Her mane lays to the right, so higher probability she's better off going to the left. When they take off as foals, it makes the mane lay the opposite direction they go. So here we go. She's speeding up in that trot. Good deal. Takes out lope. We're happy with that. And I'm not giving all these big signals of stop and whatever. I'm just kind of killing my energy. I do not round pen a lot. I haven't round penned her. So they don't know all these, fancy deals. I don't really care about that. I care that I'm creating principles that are going to transition through a horse's life. Excuse me. And, the principles here today are, stay in that thinking mode, stay relaxed. And look at her. I mean, she's gentle as a cat right here. But, yeah, she could be a fairly reactive horse when I first brought her, but that's just how some ranch horses are. I mean, they've been living outside their whole life. They've had to defend themselves, had to challenge herd hierarchy every day, right? We almost ask them to not be horses anymore when we're making really good horses. We ask them to be, almost human, and that's a lot for a horse, especially when we're roping or working cows. It's incredible how much they can become and do, with a little bit of good guidance. So you could see I think I was massaging her mandibles again there, each side of her jaw, her cheeks. And it just helps her relax. I think it's because her jaw is a little tight because she hadn't had her teeth done yet, and she's almost 4. So it's probably not grinding properly. And yeah, it probably feels really good when I massage it. But I picked that up, I don't know, a few days into having her. Once I got my hands on her, got her halter broke, I massaged her face, and she dropped her head almost instantly. So, different note, pay attention to stuff like that, guys. Know how to get to the heart of a horse, get to the mind of a horse. But here all I'm doing is I'm just petting her up, moving those stirrups, making sure she's good with everything in a relaxed way. I'm not trying to create something happen. I'm just making sure she remembers all this stuff in a positive way. And don't get me wrong, guys. You could probably get on and ride these horses pretty quick, at this point. But, I want to make sure these horses have a good future. And not everyone's going to be as handy as the people who are starting them. So not to say I'm handy, but, some people that are out there don't want to get on a horse and then grab ever. Or, don't know how to handle that. Or if a horse braces or doesn't, give to a rein or give to a leg, right? So it's my job to make sure these horses are as safe and as gentle and as relaxed as possible. So she handled that great. Took the saddle off on the opposite side, not something you need to do, but good. So hope that makes sense, guys.